start learning some young Rosh Hashonoh. We learned Sukkis the last two shiurim, but even though it's not Shloshim Yom Kedem.
Going backward.
Rosh Hashonoh Zichar Shloshim Yom Kedem Achag. Let's take a look in Hilchos Hashonoh, the first page. Siman Tov Kuf Beis, Seder Tfilos Aseres Mitzvah Rosh Hashonoh. Kol Hashonoh Adam Espala Kel HaKodesh Bracha Gimel, Melech Yivstoka Mish Bracha Yid Aleph. The entire year the Nusach is the third bracha Kel HaKodesh, and 11th bracha we say Melech Yivstoka Mishpat. Chutz beside Me'asara Yamin Shebein Hashonoh Yom Kippur, the 10 days between Hashonoh and Yom Kippur, Shebehen Tzarech Loimer HaMelech HaKodesh, HaMelech HaMishpat. Sheyam Malola HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mara Malchusei Lishpeit Ha'am. Since these days Hashem shows His kingship to judge the world, so therefore we want to stress the Inyan of a Melech HaKadosh and a Melech HaMishpat, that He's the king. V'im Taf made a mistake for Omer HaKel HaKadosh. Oy Shemasupak as a suffix in Omer Melech HaKadosh. Im Niskelach HaShashak Yeshilo Shalom Talmud Rabbi. If he remembers before the time it takes to say Shalom Alecha Rebbe, Acher Gemara Bracha, after you finish the Bracha, in Tzarech Leimer Niskelach HaShischa Bracha Revius. And we're sure if you forgot, and he started the next Bracha already, Refeinu, Atachreinin. So last the Reish HaTfilah, Beishalosh Bracha, the Shoyin is Chashuvas Kachas. One needs to go back to the beginning of the first Bracha, because the first three Brachas are one unit, the first three Brachas. So you made a mistake in any of them, you have to go back to the beginning. So over here the halacha is, even if you weren't sure, you had a suffix, maybe you said HaMelech HaKadosh, maybe you said HaKel HaKadosh, you still have to go back. Why, if you have a suffix, you have to go back? Because the reason is we usually would say suffix the Rabbanan L'Kula, suffix Brachas L'Hakol. If you have a suffix in Brachas, you should be lenient and not say the Bracha again. However, there's a klal, whenever we have a suffix, we don't know what to do. If there's a chazaka, there's an assumption, we go with the assumption, we go with the chazaka. So, over here, there is a chazaka. The chazaka is that you said it normally the way you say it a whole year. So if you have a doubt what you said, you must probably said it the way you always say HaKel HaKadosh. That is what we assume you said. So over here we won't apply the klal of Safek Brachas L'Hakol, because we have this chazaka that Shirga de Lishna, what you used to saying a whole year, is HaKel HaKadosh. And that's probably what you said. So if you started the next bracha, you have to go back. Even if you didn't start the next bracha, if you waited a few seconds, it's already after the time that it takes to say Shalom Alecha Rebbe, those three words. So then you also have to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. Siv Beis. V'im niska koidim sheshosh k'dei shir hazeh. If someone remembers before this amount of time, Oimer, he says HaMelech HaKadosh right there, ve'in tzarech lach, so the Rosh does not need to go back to the beginning. V'chein din as well, the din is by HaMelech HaMishpat. Im niska, one remembers lach sheshosh k'dei shir hazeh, Sham HaMelech Yitztaka Mishpat, in tzarech lach Rosh. Oh, I'm sorry. B'chein is Melech HaMishpat. The same halach as a Melech HaMishpat. If you remember right away, you should say HaMelech HaMishpat. Correct yourself right away. However, HaMelech HaMishpat is different b'di'evet. B'di'evet, if l'poil you waited that shir, Hashem Alecha Rebbe, Kedei Shi'il Hashem Rabbi, and so you said Melech Yitztaka Mishpat, you didn't correct yourself on time and say Melech HaMishpat. You don't have to go back because Kiva Shehiskil Hashem. You already said Melech. Oyev Tzedakah Mishpat. Melech HaMishpat is different than a Melech HaKadosh. A Melech HaKadosh, if you say HaKel HaKadosh, you're not mentioning at all that Eibush is Melech. Melech Tzedakah Mishpat, you still mention he's a Melech. However, Yesh Shomrim, that no, it's the same din. It's the same halacha like HaKel HaKadosh. In Nisker Koidim, Shesim Tfilasei, Chayz al Reish B'chaz Hashiva. If you remembered in middle of Shemona Esrei, you have to go back to the beginning of Yeshiva. If you remember after Shemona Esrei, you have to go back to the beginning of davening. The same dinim like Hakel HaKadosh, same dinim is with HaMelech HaMishpat. Why? L'chorei he mentioned Malchus. There's a big differentiation between saying HaMelech HaMishpat and Melech Oyev Stok HaMishpat. B'chol Hashonoh Tzedakah Iker. The entire year, tzedakah is the Iker. Hashem rules the world with tzedakah. L'kach Yikdumu L'Mishpat. Therefore, we mention first tzedakah before Mishpat, judgment. About Yom HaLolo HaMishpat Iker, the Iker is Mishpat. L'kach Maskin tzedakah Klal, we don't mention tzedakah at all. So therefore, this shita holds that HaMelech Oyev Stok HaMishpat is not any different than saying Hakel HaKadosh. So what should we do? We have here machloikis. There's no clear hachra which shita we follow. So it says the Alter Rebbe lo inyan halacha safek brachas lahakol. That klal is, like we said before, whenever you have a safek in brachas, you're makel not to say the bracha because you don't want to be over in a bracha lavatala. The isav leisisa shem alekecha lashav. The third aseret hadibris. So therefore, what should one do? Lefi chachet niska koyim sin sim tfilasei. If you remember in the middle of Shemona Esrei, in Tzorech Lachzin Bech Lashiva, don't go back. Kadesh Yelov Yivarech Safik Bracha Latala, because you might be entering into saying a Bracha Latala b'Safik. Aval Achesh Akaraglo, but after you finish Shemona Esrei, Toiv Shispala Oid Pam B'Toidas Nadava. It's good, not Chayiv, but it's good to daven again B'Toidas Nadava. What does it mean, the Toidas Nadava?
If you didn't say it, it should be a substitute for what you're saying now.
If you don't what?
If you didn't say HaMelech HaMishpat, the davening now that you're saying now should be replacing what you didn't say. You didn't say HaMelech HaMishpat before now. Now you're saying HaMelech HaMishpat, so that should substitute. You said, well, you didn't say that first one yesterday, right?
First Shemona Esrei you didn't say it. Now you're going to say another Shemona Esrei instead. That's going to be the... Because according to that other shita, you weren't Yoitza.
When you're saying all the brachas, of all the 18 brachas, you're saying Hashem's name, and saying the training, you're saying all those Hashem's names for just because of the Dava, is that...
Because the Maisa, the whole Shemona Esrei, you're not Yoitza. Today, if you make a mistake in one of the 18 brachas that's Ma'akiv, you can't just repeat that bracha. You have to... The whole Shemona Esrei is problematic now. At least from that bracha on. What does it mean, Toidas Nadava? A person be'etzem is only chayiv to daven 3 tefillas a day. The inyan of Toidas Nadava is that be'etzem, the karbanis, the tefillas are keneged, it's midah. Ken the carbon tam. Shachris keneged tam shal shachris. And mincha is keneged tam shal min abayim. And Ma'ariv, which originally was a Rosh, was a sakin keneged the hektar, the hektara kol alayla of the karbanis, of the evarim. So when Ma'aser, there's no more karbanis that you chayiv every day. On a Shabbos and a Rosh Chodesh, Yom Tov, you chayiv a more additional karbanis. That's midav muslim. The inyan is that a person also could bring karbanis as an adava to Hashem. You can say, I want to bring an adava, I'm going to bring a oilam, I'm going to bring a shlamim. You can bring karbanis as an adava or a neder. You can make a neder an adava. So the same thing with Shemona Esreis. You could also make neder a Shemona Esrei to Hashem. You'd say, I want to daven again to Hashem. That's called B'Toidas and Daven. Not only that, the Gemara said that Yochanan said, Halavai shispal adam kol hayom. Halavai, a person should daven all day. The person doesn't have to work. You daven all day to Hashem. What's your neshama doing here? Have a purpose. If a shluchus, you can daven.
But it's only voluntary. If you didn't do
right.
This shita, you know, if you can do Torah Tzedakah, if you had a doubt that you can say you have a Mishpat.
According to the shita that said that you were not yoitza, so that you're mechuyev to daven another Shemona Esrei, or actually if you're in middle Shemona Esrei, you're mechuyev to go back to Shiva. According to the shita that you were yoitza, you're not supposed to daven another tefillah. So the only way you should daven another tefillah is b'toidas nadava, because as a chiyuv, you're not lav dafke b'chuyiv to daven on the tefillah. So you can only daven as a Torah's nadava. Now, the din b'chalal on the dava Shemona Esrei is not the same halacha like a regular Shemona Esrei. Hayois that you're davening b'Torah's nadava, you have to show that you're davening b'Torah's nadava, because the chor you just davened already. So why are you davening again? So you're supposed to mechadish something in the Shemona Esrei. Mechadish another tefillah, so to add a tefillah into Shemona Esrei, in one of the brachot, add something. So you should be nikir why you need another Shemona Esrei. But the mice over here, the halach is you don't have to add, because it's clear why you're adding another Shemona Esrei, because you have a suffix. Because maybe the halach is like the shita that you don't have to say another Shemona.
Same thing would be like Rosh Hashanah, right? For Shabbos and you have to keep everything from scratch. That would be the dove. That would be something you include, you're obligated to, right?
Right. Yeah. L'maisa, Achrayim say that today one shouldn't daven tefillas l'davar, chalal, because I'm not discussing Menegei HaMelech HaMishpah, but chalal, because another one of the halachas that it says regarding tefillas l'davar is you should only daven on the davar if you know that you can concentrate on the whole Shemona Esrei. Because Mela, you're mechuyev to daven. So you daven. So if you didn't have kavanah, you're supposed to have kavanah, but you're mechuyev to daven. But if you're not mechuyev to daven, you're not obligated, and you're going to dafka say, "Oh, Hashem, I want to bring you in the davar," and you're not going to concentrate in that Shemona Esrei. What type of davar is that, Hashem? What's the excuse that you went and davened another Shemona Esrei? It's a joke, and you're not concentrating. So the halach is that you're supposed to have kavanah. But make sure that you only someone who knows he can concentrate on every word should say a Torah Sadaq.
It would be a good idea if the chas doesn't say Shemona Esrei, you have a hard time not to do the chas and you can finish Shemona Esrei.
It's an interesting eitzah. He doesn't bring it up here, but it's an interesting eitzah. The Yoitza Chazaras Hashatz. The emphasis is if you don't daven b'Torah Sadava, if you don't do this extra Shemona Esrei, then before you're right, you should stand there. Maybe a good idea to stand Shemona Esrei 2 feet together. You hear Chazaras Hashatz.
As the chaz to moitzi you.
He is moitzi you anyways. He has to be moitzi.
Now he's saying HaMelech HaKodesh this, so you have kavanah. I didn't do it, so you do it for me.
Listen, L'maisa, Me'ikar Hadin, the halacha is that Safik Brachas L'Hakol, you don't need to go back. Because when we have a doubt in Brachas, we do without. So you don't go back. Not in the middle of Shemona Esrei, not after Shemona Esrei. The idea of davening B'Torah Sadava is toiv. You're not mechuyev to. Toiv to be yoyt to the other shita. You know. So Maisa, he yoyts that people don't concentrate as much. Even B'Zman Hashonoh, it says dafka certain people are shaykh to it. So it doesn't talk about over here, but like he's been saying over here, it's Siman Kuf Zayin over there, the first chelik of Hashonoh and Erechaim discuss those dinim about Torah Sadava. So the Chore, it's not really kedai to say over the daven over Shemona Esrei. And you remind yourself on the Ikar Hadin, the Ikar Hadin you were yoytza, Safa Brachas L'Hakol.
Well, the second time you did it in the Dover, you forget again. Make another Shemona Esrei.
On the Dava. Yeah.
This could happen with down in the city, down in the telephone, it doesn't happen. Because the pop up.
Yeah?
The system in the telephone, yeah.
The other problem on the telephone. Bit more serious problem.
More serious problem.
Yeah. Listen, we're only human beings, we have to do our best. Siv Gimel. By the Rabbi says it's the sign, the Lashon Chazal is that it is the 10 days, Dish Hashem B'Matzei, K'ru B'Yesi Karev. When is the time that you should search out Hashem? Dish Hashem B'Matzei, when He's found. K'ru, you should call out to B'Yesi Karev when He's close. When is Hashem close? Chazal say, Eilu Asara Yamim Shebein Hashonim and Kippur. Hashem is close to us. The Lashon in Chassidus Sfarim is Kiruv HaMor Lanitzos. It's the time when the Mor, the luminary, draws closer to the spark in the Neshamas Yisrael. So at the time, it's Hashem Yitshuva to come closer to Hashem. Interesting, the Lashon is Elu Asara Yom Shebein Hashonoh and Kippur. The 10 days between Hashonoh and Kippur. Between Hashonoh and Kippur, there's only 7 days. What does it mean between Hashonoh and Kippur? But Ma'aseh says that even Hashonoh and Kippur are also part of the Aseres Yemei Tshuva. They're also days of Aseres Yemei Tshuva. So between Hashonoh and Yom Kippur means not between the days of Hashonoh and Kippur, between the concepts of Hashonoh and Kippur. Meaning there is the aspect of Rosh Hashanah as a day of Tshuva, as one of the days of Aseres Yemei Tshuva. Then there's a second aspect, a higher and deeper aspect of Rosh Hashanah, that's Rosh Hashanah. But Rosh Hashanah also comprises within itself as being one of the Aseres Yemei Tshuva. Similarly, Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is not only Yom Kippur, it's also Aseres Yemei Tshuva, one of the days of Tshuva. So when we say Elo Asar Yom Shebein Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we don't mean the days in between physically. We mean including Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. These are the days between the higher aspect of Rosh Hashanah and the higher aspect of Yom Kippur. All of these days are the 10 days of Tshuva. That's like Rosh Hashanah, Be'etzim is also Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Hashanah is Be'etzim Rosh Chodesh. Not only that, the halacha is by Yal V'Yavai, by night you forget Yal V'Yavai, you don't have to go back, only by day. At Tchila we say Yal V'Yavai by night, but we don't have to go back, only by day you have to be Chodesh, by Shemon Esrei. The reason for this is because the din is you're not Mekadesh the Chodesh by night. The Bezin said in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, you don't say B'Kodesh once it's night. So, therefore at nightfall, the Yal V'Yavai is sort of like a form of Kiddush HaChodesh. Therefore, the Chatchili, you're maskir. But if you forgot, you don't have to go back. So there are even those that want to say that maybe Rosh Hashanah by night, if you forgot HaMelech HaKodesh, you don't have to go back. Because the Yois, it's a night of Rosh Hashanah, it's not the night of Rosh Chodesh. So you don't have to go back. For HaMelech HaKodesh, if you forgot Melech HaKodesh. Ma'aseh, the most places don't hold this way. The Rebbe Hashonoh doesn't hold that way.
It's not the belief that somebody will forget on the night of Rosh Hashanah and nothing like that.
Yeah, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is not as difficult to forget because the whole Shemon Esrei is different. So you're not saying a weekday Shemon Esrei, and you're also looking in every word because you don't know about Peh. So you're looking in, you're careful what you say.
And a lot of times you're looking at a matzo.
Right.
The matzo will have it.
Right, and the whole nusach is different, so you're not, you don't have the shigur the lishna about it. Siv Gimel. Im Amar Tzadik Pa'amim, Baruch Ata Hashem Melech HaKodesh, Baruch Ata Hashem Melech HaMishpat. If one said, repeated 90 times, he tried to change the chazaka, he tried to change what's normal for him to say. So he said 90 times, Baruch Ata Hashem Melech HaKodesh, Baruch Ata Hashem Melech HaMishpat.
I can make believe a whole month in that this way.
Right, because what is the 90 times? The Cheshbon 90 times is 3 tefillas a day times 30 days.
But you have Shabbos, which is more.
There are people who do that for a say a month.
That's a good kasha. That's a with Shabbos, you have Musaf also, it's another tefillah. They're good to kasha. After he did this kunz, where he said it 90 times, he now had a suffix in davening of Amar Melech HaKodesh. So you would think this is like the same deal like Mashav Roch Amen HaGeshem. You say it 90 times, you're good to go. You know, because that akal we say within the first month, if you have a suffix, the chazak is that you said it like you used to say it. After a month, we say you got used to saying it now the new way. So now we say if you have a suffix, you don't have to be choizer. So over here, this person wants to say, instead of waiting a whole month, there is no month to wait by Aseres Yemei Tshuva. Let me say it 90 times and I'm good to go. So Maisa, Afal Bikei da Alochi, so Chlachs Rosh doesn't help. The Divi Hak according to all opinions. Meaning, it's not compared to the din in Hashanah's bar, but Simon Kufidal, but Meir Hatalam Asherach Megashem, you can't compare. The kind over here, Kivin Shin Rishoy Loimer Hashem Kikriyase. Person now let's say Hashem's name as it's written, Shebrachlo Atala. So you're going to say Hashem, Baruch Atah Hashem. You're going to chaz over not the way you say it in davening. You came betfila. If so, during davening, when you will.
It doesn't help you about this trick.
Yeah. During davening, you're going to go back to where you're used to. So this doesn't apply. Singing. Now, the voice side, we know that every Matzah Shabbos, every Leil Shabbos, we say a mini Chazaras Hashatz. Normally, Ma'ariv, there was no Chazaras Hashatz because the Chatchila was only Roshus. But by Leil Shabbos, we do have a Birchas Me'ein Sheva. We say there a little piece of each of the 7 brachas of the Shabbos Shmoneh Esrei. We finish off Baruch Atah Hashem Mekadesh HaShabbos. Over here, when it comes to Shabbos Shuvah, or it comes to Hashonoh Chalis B'Shabbos, we don't add in Mekadesh HaShabbos V'Yisrael V'Hazmanim. We don't add in about Yom Tov. It's also Yom Tov. This bracha was only Mesakin for Shabbos. So Ein Chanami, it's Yom Tov today, but the whole entire bracha, this Chazaras Hashatz, has no shaykhs to Leil Yom Tov B'etzim. So therefore we don't mention anything about Yom. Siv Dal B'Shabbos Tshuva. Some places it's called Shabbos Tshuva. Some places it's called Shabbos Shuvah. If you call it Shabbos Tshuva, it's al shame the fact that it's one of the Shabbos during the Seres Yimei Tshuva. It's called Shabbos Shuvah without the Tov. It corresponds to the Haftarah that we read in Shabbos Shuvah. Shuvah Yisrael ki chashalto evanecha. V'chein chal Rosh Hashonoh Yom Kippurim b'Shabbos, as well as Rosh Hashonoh Yom Kippur fall on the Shabbos. Oymar shnichtzibeh v'birchas me'in sheva shebelel HaShabbos HaMelech HaKodesh. Instead of saying Hakel HaKodesh HaMniach L'Amei, you should add in HaMelech HaKodesh. V'choisem v'chasima is Mishal Shabbos Levad. V'elimaske Eloi Rosh Hashonoh v'Eloi Yom Kippurim. The time should is bar v'simnei sameches that this entire bracha was only in the sakin for Shabbos. Leil Shabbos. Some people daven bent over on a Shanim Kippur. If you're going to lead the whole Shmoneh Esrei, it could seem to someone who watches only part of your Shmoneh Esrei that you feel there's an inyan to lean to be Kireya at the ending of a regular bracha. Meanwhile, it's only a chiyuv at the beginning and ending of Avis and the beginning and ending of Haidah to bow. So therefore, you have to lift yourself up at the ending of the bracha and go straight. Or birchas Avis birchas Haidah, so at least gave she'egiya leis hatevas koydem chasima. By these brachas specifically, you have to stand straight already a few words before the ending. Like we normally do. Aga by different menhagim and moedim. Some people by moedim bend like they always bend, by all the other 3 times. But they bend with the knees and they bend the head. In other kivas, the minig is just to bend the head, the back, but not to bend the knees. That's the minig Chabad also.
When you do it yourself,
when you do
it yourself, the moedim quietly, you do bend everything. Chazal Tashad,
you bend the knees also?
Yeah.
On knees.
Both of them, but quiet also?
Yeah. You bend like this, regular, without doing the knees. It's different than the other 3 kriyas. Other kilas don't do it that way. Other kilas do it exactly the same like all the other kriyas. It's different kihilas. I don't recall the reasons for the mini. Maybe it's Api Arizal, I don't remember. Siva. Hageoinim. Tiknu loymar maseres mikshuva b'chas avos achreinu v'kvuris b'chamoicha b'hidach soy b'svishal b'sefer. After the Chasimas HaTalmud, the Gemara was closed, was sealed, there was no longer any additions to the Gemara. There was a Tkufa of Saveroyim, which I'm not much known about that Tkufa. There are like 2-3 shtickach in Gemara which were added in by the Saveroyim. But by Etzem, by the Meroyim, it was closed off, by Sima Meroyim. Afterwards, a Tkufa of Goyim, of Hai Goyim, of Shivi Goyim, of Sadya Goyim. So the Maisa, the Tkufas HaGoyim, we added into Shemona Esrei to say, in Birchas Avos to say, L'cheinu l'chayim, Mechels chavetz v'chayim. If a Gvuris to say, Micha Moicha, B'idach, Soy v'chayim tevis v'shalom b'sefer. V'yushachach lo'imram, one forgot to say them. V'niska, if you remembered, Koidim Shesim HaBracha, before the ending of the Bracha, Sheshachav Ba, in that Bracha, Oyim V'makaniska, say it wherever you remember in that Bracha. You don't have to go back. Just say it there and go weiter. If you remember it after you mentioned already the name of Hashem at the ending of the bracha, don't say it where you remember it. The Gam as well, go back to the beginning of the bracha. But here it's not a suffix, it's a bracha la'atala. Kiva the ein ela tikkun hagoyim. Since these things were only added by the Go'inim, they don't have a koyach for you to be choiz at the Shemona Esrei. You're not allowed to say over the Shem Hashem.
In the Melech HaKodesh and Kol HaKodesh is not about going?
No, it's a Mishnayos.
That's even before the Meroim.
Meroim came up.
But the Kol HaKodesh is from Mishnayos.
There's Bechlal, even a Shaila, if the Go'inim were allowed to create brachas. We have like a bracha or two, which the Go'inim were sacking, like a Nois Le'yov Koyach. So there were those that didn't want to say it, because said it's not from the Gemara. Anyone after the Gemara doesn't have the Koyach to create a bracha. Nice, so we do say it. Siv Zayin. We say Uksoy v'l'chayim toivim, Z'cheinu l'chayim al-chavetz b'chayim, you should say l'chayim b'shva tachas alamid, v'layimir patach, don't say l'chayim, say l'chayim, the l'shtama lo'chayim, it shouldn't sound like you're saying l'chayim, not life. Okay, l'ayim lo'chayim. Yama elu she'imei din, so l'chodaktek, l'farech heitim tfilasei. Since these days are you made din, so you have to be careful. Judgment rules. Din. Din is everything is factual. The whole rest of the year things are lighter. Hashonoh. We say it in Maidav. Birchas Hashkivenu will say it soon. So you could say Hamidenu Lachayim. The pile our nusach is not with a patach anyway. The nusach is with a shva. Maybe other nuschos have with a patach. But enu choishin v'she'acha kavana salei ve'in advarim. Since we go after the kavana, meaning a whole year long, the Eibishter feared developed with chesed. So, okay, you didn't say it right, but we know your kavana was for life, obviously. Yemei Hadin, we're more cautious, because here things are din, so we want to make sure that not only Kavana, saying it right. Ches, well, Yemer L'chaim Tovim, not L'chaim. We say Zochreinu in Avos, you should say L'chaim without the word Tovim. Achi Yigil L'ksoiv L'chaim, Ozim L'chaim Tovim. Ki Mevakish L'vash T'chilot of a Mort V'akam Beis V'ahil. When someone asks for something, you don't right away ask for everything. You ask a little by little. You start slowly. You ask for life, then you ask for good life. It reminds me, there was a chassan of Alter Rebbe. I think it was a Seal Lepler that the Alter Rebbe gave him in Yechidus a bracha for long life. Like a yodel. But he right away like ran forward to the desk of the Alter Rebbe and he said, "Aber nicht peirische Jahre, not farmer years, years that he doesn't hear, he doesn't see a likos, he doesn't, not years of Torah mitzvahs." So Maisa, the Rebbe one time said by Femnei, "What's pshat? The Rebbe gave you a bracha. You're coming and adding conditions." So he said, the Rebbe said, it's not conditions. For this chassid, if it wasn't going to be such a life filled with kedusha and tara, it wasn't life. It wasn't a condition. The bracha wasn't the bracha if it wouldn't be this way. It wasn't the condition. It wasn't the tanai. It had to be this oifen. Siftas, but Rosh Hashanah Oimer, Matit Lolos Yema Hazikaron Hazeh, Yitzarach Lahaspish Chodesh V'Loimer V'Siyom Rish Chedezeh. You don't have to mention Rish Chodesh specifically on Rosh Hashanah. We don't say Yalav Yaveh, especially for Rish Chodesh. Why? Because Oimer Yema Hazikaron Hazeh. Gam Rish Chodesh B'Chalal Shenik Hazikaron. Zikaron, a day of remembrance, also refers to Rish Chodesh. Shanam says the pasuk of Yom says Chaschem Me'adechem Rosh Chadshechem V'Niskartem. You will be remembered before Hashem on all these days, including Rish Chodesh. So Rish Chodesh is also a day of being remembered before Hashem on Yom Zikaron. So we say as Yom Hazikaron Hazeh on Rosh Hashanah Tfilos, that includes Rish Chodesh. That's as if we said the Yalav Yaveh. If Rosh Hashanah falls out during the week, we say Yom Teruah, a day of blowing shofar and Mikra Kodesh. However, if it falls on the Shabbos Hashanah, we actually don't blow the shofar. Now you can't say it's a Yom Teruah you don't blow. You say it's a zecher to the day of blowing, but we don't actually blow the shofar.
Only in the English.
Only the base of Mikdash, correct.
They don't say Zikaron.
The Rif earlier the Shoinim held that you don't have dafka in the base of Mikdash that you could blow shofar. It's even when you ever have a bezin smuchin, a bezin that has smicha, a real smicha. So also over there in front of that bezin you're also allowed to blow. So he was also blew shofar on Rosh Hashanah Shechalas B'Shabbos, even though he didn't live B'Chalal Eretz Yisrael.
Because you're not scared that he's going to carry something because you have a basin.
In Chassidus, it talks about the fact as a shayla, how could it be? What's the whole reason why Chazal said we shouldn't blow shofar? Because maybe someone won't be bucky and how to blow shofar, and he'll carry it to the bucky to learn how to blow shofar Rosh Hashanah. Chassidus is a kasha. The Iyat Kiyah Shofar is a Gavaldik mitzvah. It's an unbelievable mitzvah. Poil Gavaldik HaMeshachis. How could it be because of such a chash rochik? Someone won't know the shofar. He's going to go and make a mistake, carry it in the street. For this, we make a whole gzeir. We should mevatel a whole mitzvah in Klal Yisrael. So therefore, Chassidus explains that the emes on Shabbat, Rosh Hashanah Shechalas B'Shabbos, it's not so necessary to blow shofar because Shabbos affects whatever shofar needed to affect. The kedusha of Shabbos together with kedusha of Rosh Hashanah pulls off the effects of what Rosh Hashanah would, the shofar blowing would affect. So, but etzem, it's not as important to blow the shofar. And why in the base of Mikdash did they blow? Because blowing in the base of Mikdash affected such hamshachas, such effects that even Shabbos can't affect. So therefore, you have to blow shofar even on Rosh Hashanah, Shechalas B'Shabbos in the base of Mikdash, because Shabbos can't affect that hamshacha that blowing Rosh Hashanah, blowing shofar in the base of Mikdash could.
I think that is on Rosh Hashanah. Some places they even on Shabbos they blow shofar.
No blow shofar. Some blow shofar is not part of the. He's not an Orthodox person. There's no one today is a bezin the smuchin.
They're doing in
Maybe there's some Meshuggah who does it, but it's not.
The person who brings carbon Pesach to the
Yeah, you have how many people today? Someone told me you could buy online that you can register the carbon Pesach, get yourself a Kazayis and the Korban Pesach.
Because it's referring
How much does it cost?
So Pesach, we can go to the Karayim.
How much does it cost?
It's a kosher Pesach.
that was the problem. The problem is because they don't go back to camp. Sometimes we do it.
But it's all-
Huh? Yeah, a lot of them, but the beginning of some of them also asked this question. Yeah. It explains there actually detail. It's not just an answer. It explains in detail what shofar is poil on a shacha of the level of tainug, ha'elyon, the supernal pleasure of Hashem. And Shabbos is the in of tainug Shabbos. So Shabbos is already poil that in of tainug. It explains in detail the Kodah Pik Kabbalah Pik Siddur. Ma'isa Aga, by the way, there's a shayla. What happens if someone did blow shofar Rosh Hashanah? Shechalis b'Shabbos. Let's say they didn't know the halacha. They blew. Were they yoitzer or not?
Does he get warned before? Does he get punished by Bezin because he blew something? It's a malacha, right?
Oh, it's Darabana.
The shayla is halacha l'maisa. B'kiveger asks, what happens the next day? Could he make a shechiyanu? Next day, when we blow shofar on Rosh Hashanah Shechalis b'Shabbos, you make a shechiyanu when you blow the second day because we haven't blown it the first day, so you have to make a shechiyanu. But Maisa over here, this guy already blew it the first day. So the shayla is, was he yoytze b'diavad on the first day? And the nafkin is going to be if the next day he's allowed to make a shechiyanu or not.
Why do you wear a new bag the next day? Make a shechiyanu bag.
What was the answer?
So Maisa, it's a big machlokes achronim. When you do a mitzvah in the way that Chazal did not want you to do the mitzvah, his pshat is that you were yoytze in that Torah, just you weren't yoytze the way Chazal wanted. You weren't yoytze in the appropriate manner. Or pshat is that you were not yoytze at all because Chazal have the koyach to define the mitzvah. That Hashem gave over the Torah to the Maser Hadav l'Chachamim that Leisosim Hadavar Sheyigidu l'cha Yaminu Smoil. Chazal could tell you how to become the mitzvah. Lamaisa, we say Pesach. Call me Shaloi Omer Shaloi Shadvarim Alol Pesach Matzavara Liyatzadei Chavasi. What does it mean Liyatzadei Chavasi? You were not yoytze totally, or you weren't yoytze keroi. The Ran learns you weren't yoytze keroi. So it's be'etzim a machlokes showing him about it, about the different mitzvahs. It's nishazei pashut. If he shittis you were yoytze, if he saw shittis you weren't yoytze. There was a Yid, Rebbe Ephraim Oshri, who was a Rav on the Basmedrash Hagadol, Lower East Side. Sniffed it maybe 10 50 years ago. And he was a Rav in the Kovno ghetto during the war. And there was a lot of shilas terrible shilas that came to him in that kufa. And he wrote response at Shuvas, called me Mamakim from the depths, to discuss those shilas that he received during the war years. And wrote the Shuvas down what he gave. So one of the shilas was this shilah that basically it was Rosh Hashanah Shechalis b'Shabbos, and there was someone in the ghetto who had a shofar. However, that he knew by the ending of the day, that day he's going to be taken, well, the next morning, he's going to be sent away to another, out of the ghetto, to have to work somewhere. So might say he's not going to be there the next day. So the Yid in the ghetto felt, there's no shofar in the ghetto, it's the only one that has the ghetto. Tomorrow, he's not going to be here, we're not going to hear shofar. But dice, the whole entire Rosh Hashanah we're not going to hear. And it's very possible it's our last Rosh Hashanah alive. They knew what was happening, and then they felt that we really want to be yoytze shofar. So they came to him and they asked him a shayla, even though it's a Hashonoh Shechalis b'Shabbos, that maybe we could be made called to blow shofar. Should we at least be yoytze the last Rosh Hashanah of life to have a tekiah shofar? So he goes in to describe back and forth the machlokes Rishonim whether you're yoytze. But the Yevin, if you blow shofar on Hashonoh Shechalis b'Shabbos, Lamaisa, he said that it's a machlokes, and he personally didn't have any weight to machriya the machlokes, so he didn't want to answer them because he didn't want to say anything. because he saw a lot of them really wanted to do it. So he didn't want to say anything. So he let them, he didn't say anything. A line formed, and people were going to blow shofar, to hear shofar. And he said, he writes over there were even some Chasidei Chabad, this is what he writes in the Shuvah, that made a bracha. So he said, that I couldn't agree to. That you can make a bracha, it's a machlokes. So Safek brachas lahakol, you shouldn't make a bracha. But Maisa, it's very hard to understand what he writes, because the halacha is clear that you're not supposed to do it. The shayla is only if you did it, were you yoytze. But lachatchila, you're not supposed to do it. Even in such situations, but this is the way you're mekayim the Eibish's tzivah by not doing it. Good, but Maisa, these people felt, they needed to have it, so
We can't judge.
yeah, there's no way to
judge.
judge anyone. Chas v'shalom.
It could be put national morale. Maybe they're just trying to stay
Okay,
alive.
right. So maybe he
They
felt
need to have morale.
there are other things to play, so therefore he didn't say anything. Let the oilam do the way they feel. It comes up in other shilas also. We know Beishamay Mesilas Machlekes whether or not you're allowed to have a sukkah. If you're allowed to have a sukkah that's small, too small to have your table. If you have your table outside, are you allowed to have a sukkah with tables outside the door of your sukkah, and you're eating from the table outside the sukkah, or your table has to be in the sukkah? So Beishamay held that you're allowed to have the table right outside the sukkah. They still say you're not allowed, because the person that has a table right outside is going to lean his head out and he's going to eat outside the sukkah. It is a gzeira, you shouldn't eat outside the sukkah, so your table has to be inside the sukkah. You can't have it outside. It says the Chacham came to a certain person and they saw that one of the came, they saw that he had a sukkah like Beishamay. The table was outside. And they told him, "Lo kiyamtam, it's a sukkah mimacha. You were never yoytz a sukkah. This is the way you were eating your whole life. You weren't yoytz it's a sukkah." Shalos, what do you mean you weren't yoytz in the sukkah? He wasn't yoytz according to Shittas Beis Hillel, but min haTorah he was yoytz. It's a good sukkah. It's only a gzeira. Maybe you're going to eat outside the sukkah. Before he was yoytz. But Toyster says, "Lo kiyamtam, it's a sukkah mimacha midiraisa." Min haTorah you weren't yoytz because Beis Hillel qualified, the Gzeira qualified what the sukkah is min haTorah. If you don't follow the way Beis Hillel describes what a sukkah is, you're not yoytz min haTorah. Not everyone's maskim. It also depends every mitzvah for itself. Kriya Shema also. The halach is supposed to say Kriya Shema before Chatzos. Ma'ariv, you're allowed to daven after Chatzos. Kriya Shema is only b'diavad after Chatzos. Chatchila is supposed to say Kriya Shema before Chatzos. What?
Everybody holds the Yemen after Chatzos.
Right. But there's a Rabbeinu Yoina, one of the Rishonim, who holds that after Chatzos, Chazal took away the koyach to say Krishna, because it's only up to Chatzos. It's a mamish machlokes. It's not many practical implications for this machlokes. But you have to say Kriya Shema before Chatzos. For some reason you can't have a married say Kriya Shema before Chatzos.